Hey guys, it's Justin here, and today I've got the review for you of the Samsung Galaxy Note 3. Yes, it is a very big phone, but it really brings a lot to the table and presents what you should expect out of a top-end smartphone with top-end specs. It is the third iteration of the Note line of phones, and it has really told Samsung that there is indeed a market for such a large smartphone. Over the past week I've been able to use this phone. I have to say it really screams in terms of performance. I've had a lot of fun using it, and it really changes my view on TouchWiz that I did originally have from using the Samsung Galaxy S4. The S Pen is also something that Samsung evidently has tried to build upon over the generations of the Note lineup, making it a very prominent selling point compared to other large smartphones out in the market. Not only by allowing people to do much more creative work on their phones for those who enjoy that, but also add some functionality with some of the smart features that Samsung has added utilizing the S Pen, which I will demonstrate later in this video. Flipping it over to the bottom, you've got your S Pen holder, the speakers, and also USB 3.0 compatibility. You can still use your standard USB 2.0 micro USB cable, however the USB 3.0 really enables it to have maximum sync and charge speeds, which is a great thing we've seen put into this phone, in order to charge up that massive 3200 mAh battery faster. On the top, you've got your 3.5mm standard audio jack, as well as a few sensors along the way. I believe that is the IR blasters, but there's many more sensors built into the phone itself, just like we saw with the Samsung Galaxy S4. The device itself presents a rather slim form factor, coming in at just 8.3mm thick and 168 grams, which due to the size of the device makes it feel extremely thin and light in the hand. Although the raw screen size of the phone may intimidate a lot of people who feel that the phone is just much too large, I will admit that I do have rather small hands, but I really felt this phone felt great in the hand. And I definitely encourage you to check it out for yourself before deciding whether this phone is right for you, as I was actually pretty surprised. As you may know, Samsung has been critiqued in general over the build quality on their smartphones over the past few years, and how most of their lineup is made out of the plastic back. While I would say I don't really have a huge issue with the plastic construction, I do wish that it was a little bit durable, but nonetheless it is very easy to remove and replace. But it looks like this time Samsung has gone with leather on the Note 3. Well, it's not actually leather, it's just plastic that's meant to look like leather. I guess they're going in the right direction. But putting that aside, I would say that the phone itself is very stylish, it feels amazing in the hand, and that I am happy that they have at least moved away from the glossy and slippery plastic rear. The display is an absolutely beautiful 1920 by 1080 resolution Super AMOLED HD 5.7 inch display that has a whopping 386 ppi pixel per inch density, which from looking at it is probably one of the best displays I have ever seen on a smartphone, period. Enough said. The battery is also a huge advantage to the Note 3, having a 3200 mAh battery, which for reference the iPhone 5s has a 1500 mAh battery. It is great that the Galaxy Note 3 has the space to fit a battery at such large capacity, which is great as it seems like batteries are just one of those things in smartphones that don't really seem to be improving in terms of the technology as fast as everything else is. And from my experiences, I was able to get about 1.5 days of full use on a full charge. Inside the Galaxy Note 3, I'm guessing most of you will be getting the North American version. In that case, it features a 2.3 GHz Snapdragon 800 processor with 3GB of RAM. But if you're picking up the international GSM version like the one I've got here, you have an octa-core processor featuring a 1.9 GHz quad-core processor and a 1.3 GHz quad-core processor, also with 3GB of RAM. Keeping in mind that the international version does not have LTE and cannot shoot 4K video. So now that we've talked a ton about the hardware, let's move on to the software. The phone itself runs Android 4.3 and of course the TouchWiz skin, which some prefer and some definitely do not like it. And personally, I had a pretty bad experience using it on the Samsung Galaxy S4, but using the Note 3, it has really changed my view on how it works. I found it to be extremely smooth. I actually had no stutters in the times I have used this phone. Everything is extremely smooth and it is what you expect from these specs. Flipping it up, Samsung has also made a response to HTC's Blink feed by also integrating a news service that pretty much presents you with all your latest news, your social and personal stuff, all in one place for you to access. Flipping down the notification bar, there is one thing I have always really liked about TouchWiz, which is the quick toggle settings that are very easy accessible on the top. It also allows you to configure what you would like displayed along the top bar depending on your priorities, and it makes it very easy to quickly turn things on or off directly from your notification tab, which is one thing I really liked about TouchWiz compared to the skins that other companies have integrated. and even compared to stock Android. As you'd expect, you do have a lot of customization options as well as a lot of features that Samsung has integrated, of course, with TouchWiz, such as some smart functions, air gesture, air view, some S Pen options. I just want to take you guys through the menu of these settings. Samsung has really wanted to encourage multitasking, and I feel with the Samsung Galaxy Note 3, with such a large screen, it really takes advantage of that function the best. By holding down your back button or tapping it twice, it brings up your multitasking drawer where you have all your applications. You're able to stretch them around to the size you may want, and to close the application, just hit the back button, and in general, I found it very smooth and easy to use. Holding down the home button will bring you to the active running applications, Google Now, but also some information about the RAM, current downloads, and pretty much what's running in the background. Again, making it very easy for you to close up all your currently running apps, free up some RAM, but at the same time, do a quick search through Google Now. On the left, you've got your menu button that will bring up the settings depending on the page you are on, but if you hold it for a little bit, it will also take you to S Finder, which will allow you to look for things within your phone. Last but not least, you've also got S Voice. By tapping on the home button twice, it will bring up a number of options. It kind of works just like Siri, of course. I'm sure a lot of you do know that already. You can set a schedule, open up an application, kind of search up something very fast, and that is there for you to use if you prefer to. So now let's talk about the S Pen and what it can do. Of course, it can't cover everything, but let's talk about some of its most prominent features. First off is Air Command, which pretty much by hovering close to the screen and holding on the button, it will bring up a set of functions that Samsung believes you will probably be using most, including Action Memo, Pen Window, Scrapbooker, Screen Write, and S Finder. Starting out with Action Memo, it allows you to jot down tasks very easily using your pen, and by doing so, it would convert it into text and use it as a task, so it makes it very fast and easy to access certain things. Second off, Screen Write is actually a pretty cool function that I would see myself using quite a bit. What it does is it instantly takes a screenshot, it allows you to write it over it using different colors or pens. You have a whole bunch of options there and very easily share them. So, for example, if you're working in collaboration with somebody, kind of making notes, makes it very easy and fast to do. Another one of my favorite features of S Pen is Pen Window, which is definitely a multitasker's dream. It allows you to draw a square of any size on your display, and it will allow you to open a choice of applications that you can run, so it definitely adds to the productivity and allows you to do things while you're doing something else as well. Moving on to the camera, the Note 3 features the same sensor as seen on the Galaxy S4, which is a 13 megapixel camera that is capable of shooting 1080p video. However, the North American or Snapdragon 800 version can also shoot up to 4K resolution video, which is absolutely mind-blowing for a mobile phone. When you take a look at the camera software itself, as you may know, Samsung has a whole bunch of different features and options or different modes that you are able to use in photo mode, such as burst photo, sound and shot, stuff like that, a lot of which you may have known from before. Moving on to the settings, they also let you control certain things, but like I said, the 4K video is only enabled on certain versions, so make sure you're aware of the model you are picking up before you do. In general, I feel that most people will be shooting in just the auto mode, however, all the other features are there in case you need them or want to utilize them. When you take a look at the photos, I would say that it definitely did a very good job. With the 13 megapixel sensors, you would definitely expect it to capture an amazing level of detail which is seen throughout the photo, but for some people you may feel that Samsung does oversaturate its images just a little bit. Some of you may like that and some of you may not, but in general I would say that the photo quality I was rather pleased with. Moving on to the video, you can see that it is again very sharp. The model I have does not support 4K video, but I imagine a lot of you will be picking up the version that has 4K video capabilities, and in that case, it would be incredibly sharp. In general, I would say I was very happy with the video quality on the Galaxy Note 3, but one thing that really suffered was the video stabilization, which is something that I noticed in the S4 as well, that it just seemed like the shots are extremely shaky. Even if you're trying to keep it very straight, it seems to show quite easily. The Galaxy Note 3 also goes very well with the Samsung Galaxy Gear smartwatch, which I would kind of say Samsung had kind of intended to go along with the Note 3, and from using the Gear with the Note 3, although it is in rather early stages, I definitely think that it is heading at the right direction, and for some you would definitely enjoy the combination between the Gear and the Note. So now on to my final thoughts of the Galaxy Note 3. I gotta say I wasn't really sure what to expect about this phone, as it is my first Note phone that I've actually really got to try out, and I have to say I came out very pleased with the way I felt about the phone. Although it is rather large, I found it to not feel extremely large in my hand, even though I do have rather small hands. And I was also very happy with the way that Samsung has used TouchWiz in order to utilize the screen space of 5.7 inches, so it didn't feel like they were wasting the space, but really trying to add features that would encourage you to use up that space. And at least in my experiences, I didn't see any hiccups or slowdown or any sort of lag over the past weeks I've used this phone. The processing power is definitely what you expect, and this time around I've been much happier with the overall software and the way that TouchWiz has worked on the Galaxy Note 3 as opposed to my earlier experience with the S4. But enough of that, that's my thoughts on the Galaxy Note 3. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the next one.